It seems like every day there are fundamental changes in our world. As we talk to clients, there's a lot of anxiety around the disruption. Some of it's based on geopolitical tension, some of it's based on energy, some of it's based on technology. It feels like multiple perfect storms hitting business today. And a lot of business leaders are struggling to figure out a path to adaptation. How do we change our business? How do we show up differently for a customer? Will there be demand for our business in the future? One thing remains true. Companies have to shift how they work. It's not just because of AI. There's so much complexity built up. Companies are having to navigate this almost perfect storm of complexity. To give a few examples, shifting regulations is a hot topic. Economic volatility is almost a daily concern. The technology landscape is so disruptive that the foundation of a lot of businesses are being threatened. And this all impacts the foundation of B2B. When businesses sell to other businesses, that foundation of selling is changing. Decision models change. The expectations around ROI is changing. The role of software and SaaS is now being upended. Even organization structures are being looked at differently. And so when a buyer is in the market to make a purchase, today, it's a very different reality from the past. B2B companies aren't just facing change, their core operating assumptions are being dismantled. And buyers, as they enter the marketplace, they are having to wrestle with complexity on their own side. They're increasingly risk adverse. And so the sellers in the B2B landscape, what they're witnessing is a battle against indecision, against companies that are hedging their bets, that are running experiments, that are testing new models and slowing down their path to purchase. This is what a B2B seller is up against. They have to combat this with a completely new approach to going to market and to selling. Their stories have to be more profound, more wrapped around the buyer's perspective. And that is an imperative for how B2B companies operate today. How do we approach our marketplace? I think a lot of companies are trying to figure out, so what do we do about this? We live in this land of complexity. I think the clear beginning is to reframe your business around your customer's perspective. It's the foundation of marketing, yet so many companies resist doing this. They think so much about themselves. They think about their products, the features of their products, their product roadmap, their offering, and they forget that the customers have a completely different perspective in the exchange. What we're trying to encourage our clients to do is to map their buyer's journey, map their sales experience in a completely inverted way. Approach it as a customer would. Map out the questions they have. Compare your content strategy based on the customer journey, based on the customer investigation process. What are the challenges they're up against? What are their assumptions? What are their fears and perspectives and perceived opportunities in the marketplace ahead? Be a willing player in their world versus this very old school notion of sales where you defend against objections. Instead, we need to enter that world of objections. We need to revamp our selling experience. We need to reframe our value proposition and orient it around the needs that customers have and their assumptions that they're making at the future. Companies today need to be wayfinders. They need to chart a sense of direction for companies. Where it begins is by starting to lock down, what do you know about your ideal customers? What do you know about their world? What do you know about their challenges? And starting to map all of their obstacles, all of their opportunities, all of their aspirations, and chart a course to the future for their world instead of your own.